Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. This video is part 8 in a series that I am doing where I'm featuring my good friend Octavio's submission to CGC. Thank you again and again and again, Octavio, for making your books available to me for this series. Quickly, let me explain what we do here. What we do is we take a look at video that I made of these books that were submitted to CGC when they were raw. We assess the books for any flaws, any damage, anything that might impact the grade negatively. Then we give our best guess as to what we think the grade should be. Once we have that guess in our minds, and I share mine with you, then we unbox the books back from CGC. We take a look at the actual grades that the book received. Did we nail it? Fantastic for us. Or if we were off, it's an opportunity for us to learn and adjust our grading so that we can best match what the results are from CGC, which is really, really important, because if you want to protect your investment, part of your protecting your investment and making sure that you're not putting money into a book that's not worth it is having a good understanding of what grades to expect from CGC. And if you saw the last video, you already know I am not an expert grader. I make mistakes. And I'm due for some redemption. Now, will that redemption come in this video? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. But I will mention that there is one book in today's video that has a nice, is a nice mid-grade book, which is always great for me to have the opportunity to practice on more mid-grade books, because I see a lot of books in the 9.0 and higher category. So it's a good opportunity for all of us. All right. That's all the intro for this video. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the books we're going to be talking about today when they were raw. First up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 212. This is a nice mid-grade copy. You're going to see right away this book has flaws. This is a grade range where I could use some practice, so I'm glad to have this opportunity. So you're going to see there are a lot of color-breaking spine ticks there. That looks like a printing thing maybe there in the corner next to the J in the first JR, but the rest of these color-breaking spine ticks, that's just damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There could be more little ones in there. I invite you to go back and count them if you would like yourself. There appears to be a crease right there as well. It's a good presenting book, but then I see there is a color-breaking crease right there in the corner where it was folded at one point. Those are significant grade busters, so you can't discount those. Let's see what else here. That corner looks a little like it's brown, tanned. That looks like that could be cleaned up a little bit. That's a little almost mini tear there. And there, here you have like a staining, but it also looks like somebody was like, I don't know, put a lot of pressure there. This book was supposed to have gotten pressed, but it looks like there are some things that wouldn't have been fixed, like that thing in the middle there. Some things that would, like that crease on the front. But this book does have a lot of issues, but it doesn't look horrible. The issues are kind of small, but there's a lot of them. So I'm going to go with a 7.5 on this book. Next up, we have Black Panther, issue number 1. Let's take a looky-see here. At first glance, this book looks really, really good. This is a newer published book-ish. So you're just really trying to dig out any potential flaws. Yeah, there's a little something right there. You see that little spine, color-breaking spine tick right there? That's going to hurt the grade a little bit. So I put this in a 9.6 category as we stand. For those who haven't seen my other videos, what I like to do is I like to take the book to some overhead light. I like to bounce the light off the cover. That hotspot will tell me a lot when it comes to finding any kind of creases, anything that might be difficult to see with the naked eye. It is my belief that the reason most people are very disappointed with their grades is because they assessed their book, but they didn't catch creases that could be found by bouncing light off. So I suggest doing that. But in general, other than that tiny little color-breaking tick on the spine on the front,
I don't see much by way of issues. It's looking really, really good here on the back. There's the kind of final place we'd expect to see trouble. And I really don't see any. That spine looks really good. This edge looks good. The cover is looking really good. So other than that color breaking spine tick, so I give it a 9.6. Here is Avengers, issue number 195. Let's take a look at this book here. This is an older book-ish. At first glance, it looks quite nice, though. But not perfect. Not perfect. So it's definitely, I can tell you, not a 9.6. Oh, this is Perez, it looks like. Awesome. So it looks like there's a color breaking spine tick there. Small one. There's one right there. A small one. You can almost only see them on that angle. So I always recommend not just looking straight down the book, but also taking that angle. This is a good looking book, though. There might be something going on along the edge there a little bit. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. On the back, okay, so yeah, you see that right there? See the way the light is interacting with that crease right through the T and to the bottom of the 1? That's gonna hurt the grade. Oh, it looks, and as you pulled away, you can see, it looks like it was almost color breaking. I don't think it was, maybe some staining there, by the way, along the edge of this book. Yeah, staining is really, really bad for grades. A press might not have fixed that crease that we just saw on the back here, though, because when you came away, it almost looked like it was color breaking. I'm not sure it was, but I think what happened is that it broke the fibers, and you can't fix that. So this book, I think, has got some problems. It's going to be a 9.0. Next up, we have Thor, the Mighty Thor, in fact, number 337, Beta Ray Bill cover. This is a nice one. I'd like to add this book to my collection. It's a nice looking book, but I can already tell it is not a 9.8. There looks like there's some gunk there, something, it should be white. There is an obvious color breaking spine tick. Boy, it's a nice looking book, but it's got those little bits of problems on the front. As a predominantly white cover, yeah, you see that little bit of like staining. It should be completely white, so those types of marks are going to show up really easily to the grader. So considering this is a tough book to get in high grade, at first pass, the front of this book looks okay, looks really presentable. The back of this book is also predominantly white. There might be just a little bit of tanning along the edges, but I think it probably falls into the not problematic category. The rest of this back looks pretty good. Yeah, maybe a little stress right there, but it might not be color breaking. I don't know how they tell color breaks on white, but I'm sure they have a way. This book looks good. I'm going to give it a 9.4.
Okay, so you've had an opportunity to take a look at the books that we're going to be talking about in this video. When they were raw, you've assessed them. You have your grades in mind. I have shared my grades with you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results back from CGC. First one that we're going to look at today. Amazing Spider-Man, issue 212. Okay, there it is on my list. I assessed this at a 7.5. Keep in mind what your guess was. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results from CGC. Okay, I've been burned a bit by other guesses being wrong. Let's hope I got this one right. 6.5. Okay, that's interesting. White pages, that's great. So I have to admit one thing. I've seen a lot of books in the 9.0 range. I've seen a decent amount of books in the 8.0 range. I haven't seen a lot of books in the 6 and 7 range. So if I have a weakness, it's assessing books in lower grades. So I'm not too surprised that I was wrong about this. This is, as always, another opportunity for me to learn something about how CGC grades their books. But as always, I like to say if I'm off by 1 or 2 increments, I don't consider that a huge miss. So I was only off by 2 increments. That's not the end of the world. I always hope to be off in, having my grade be lower than the one that's received, not my guess be higher than the grade that's received. But that happens. This is a good learning opportunity for me, and I hope for all of you as well. The next book is Black Panther, issue number 1. I assessed this book and I thought that it was going to be a 9.6. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results from CGC. Great. Now let's go ahead and I'll take a look at the results. 9.6. Great. It's been a while since I got one on the nose, guys, so I'm really, really excited about that. That's great. And this has, oh my gosh, the Newton ring on this one. Oh, guys, I don't know if you can see it. I'm not going to get too into it, but it's like, it's all the way. It's just frustrating. They should, whoever's packing the box, they should just, if you just look at it for a second and you see that that's unacceptable. And their quality control, there should just be somebody who just looks at it and says good or bad. And if it's bad, they redo it. It's frustrating. Okay, people say there's ways to fix it with compressed air and suction cups, but you shouldn't have to. You can always send them back. All right, the next book is Avengers 195. Okay, great. I thought it was a 9.0. Okay, let's see if I got my guess correct. Okay, I thought it was a 9.0, Avengers 95. Let's see if I got it right. Yes! Woo! Oh, I'm starting to restore my faith in myself by getting the guesses right on 2 of the books that we are going to be looking at today. So that's really, really good. And once again, this has a big giant oil spill on it. It's not an oil spill, it's a Newton ring, but they look like oil spills. Once again, it just shouldn't. There's no need. Figure out how to do it right, CGC, without having that happen. Sometimes they say difference in environment, difference in pressure, difference in humidity between where you are and where they are. That it happened in transit, that when it left CGC, the Newton rings weren't there. I don't know, maybe, but I'm doubtful. All right, the last book we're going to look at today is Thor 337. There it is. Okay, I guessed that this was going to be a 9.4. Let's see what it is. Okay. Let's see, did I get this one right as well? 9.4. Okay, great. What a beautiful book, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful book. Great. Okay, so this was a really good day for me. I got 3 of the books absolutely correct, spot on, bullseye, which is really, really a great feeling. And the one I got wrong was one that I fully anticipate getting wrong because it's in a grade range that I am less familiar with. But once again, this is a great opportunity for me to go back, now that I know what the grade is, look at that video of the book when it was raw and see if I can't, grade it backwards and assess why it got the grade that it did. Let me know down in the comments what your guesses were for these books and how you did and how close you got. If you like these videos, likes are appreciated by me. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more of this type of video, definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the more of these that I'm going to be putting out. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.